wanted to shoot, and I raised my hand. For me, it has always been a dream to come to the Bundesliga.
That almost sounds like a treble season here.
Yeah, of course it's in the Bible.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. For something here. What a game! Across the keeper. What a comeback!
And then it is time to talk handball again right after the quarterfinals of the Machineseeker EHF Champions League. We're recording this Friday, and I am super stoked, not about just what happened in the Machineseeker EHF Champions League, but because of the two boys that are joining me here today once again. On one hand side, we have the human rowing machine. We have the guy who invented celebrations in beach handball. We have him right here, as tanned as ever, Martin Vilstrup. How are you?
I'm good. And you know the saying in Germany also, erstmal rot, dann braun, and then it goes on. Yeah, you have to be red a little bit before you get brown. And I'm good. I got home from Zagreb yesterday and returned to nice weather in Denmark. So everything's good from here.
Oh, we gotta have a talk about that. But Victor, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say to Martin that every 5 minutes he has to remember to take off his sunglasses. You know, so then this part is also red and it can be brown. You know.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Because the guy that you guys actually just heard, he may be an underused right back, but he for sure is an overused right wing, ladies and gentlemen. Víctor Tomàs, how are you?
I'm good, but I'm surprised that you said maybe. I thought you got my back, you know. It's for sure I was an underused right back.
Yeah.
And you know it, Bengt. You know it.
Of course I do. I have seen you play. I mean, I've seen you play and standing in the 6-meter area, scoring a goal. So even the biggest ones of us, they try to cheat every now and then. But yeah, that's some other topic. Martin, what have you been doing in Zagreb?
Well, I played one of the biggest qualifications tournaments for the EBT finals in called Jarun Cup. So I was invited by a Portuguese team called Lecce, and so I was playing with them.
Basically just traveling around the world playing for many different beach handball teams here. But as long as it works for you, we're happy with that. But let's actually not wait for too long until we start our topic talks here, because the Machineseeker EHF Champions League, it had for sure some drama with it the last week. And I mean, Victor, you were on your road to go 4 out of 4 in your predictions, but you ended up only hitting Barca. So congratulations for being the top guesser this week.
Yeah, but it was a crazy round yesterday and 2 days ago. Actually, the playoff that we all predicted that would be the more unequal, we all missed it.
Yeah.
And then this Magdeburg Kielce, they had the ball to qualificate in this penalty of Alex Tutsevayev, and Kiel Montpellier, it was by 1 goal. So yes, I was mistaken, but the only one that it was really wrong, we all had it wrong.
Yeah, it was actually the only one that we all aligned on. So all of us were saying Veszprém is going to make it against Aalborg. But Aalborg surprised us all. We are going to talk about all that in a little. But maybe just to have a little summary here, what was your guys' favorite matchup out of all these crazy ones? And be careful, because we do have a guest today.
First of all, I want to say that was I the one that predicted 3 out of 4 as the only one?
Could be, yeah. I think I went only for 2 out of 4 here, but yeah.
Okay. No, the matchup, having in mind the results, it ended up being then the most insane matchup for me had to be Kiel versus Montpellier.
Yeah.
Victor, I was sitting here and giving creds for saying, "Hey, great call with Montpellier. They're gonna move on with a 9-goal lead from France." And then, what happened in Kiel was quite unbelievable. So it has to be Kiel versus Montpellier.
Yeah, we got to talk about Kiel versus Montpellier in a bit because, on the other hand, we have our next guest waiting for us already, and we don't want to make him wait for too long since we're super happy that he is here. He's not just a Machineseeker EHF Champions League winner, he is a Machineseeker EHF Champions League semi-finalist for this year as well. Here he is with us. He is Magnus Saugstrup. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
So far, so good. Probably a little less hungover. So how were the parties after that insane quarterfinal that actually took you guys into the semifinal of the Machineseeker EHF Champions League?
Yeah, I think the celebration in the arena was quite nice with the fans and all, but afterwards it was not. We did have some drinks in the locker room, but it wasn't for us that big. We have to play again here on Sunday and have a big job against Lemgo.
All right, so the focus is actually just on the next step, and the party is just up when it's time for the party, or how can I understand that?
Yeah, I think we have to respect the situation that we're in, and that we have to be ready for the next matches. Also, of course, we were happy to go through for the semi-finals and to the final four, and it's huge for us. But we are not in a place where we can celebrate anything yet, like with a big party and stuff like that.
Victor, do you agree on that mindset that once you have such a super intense matchup that the party still has to wait until the season's over?
Well, I'm hi Magnus. Thank you for being here with us. I'm from a different culture than him. I'm Spanish. You know, I like to celebrate. I think that everything must be celebrated. So I'm sure that they did it their way. And which is the correct one for sure, because as we many times spoke here, you know, the German league is so tough, and they are in a position that they can be champions again, and also in the final four. So I understand, because I've been in the same shoes than him, that the party can wait a little bit, and the summer they can take the summer days for that.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And I mean, you guys do have some more things to play for. But at first, let's stay at the match that we're also keen about listening to you, what you have to say about that, because it has been such an intense battle between you guys and Kielce. Andy Wolf actually promised us that would be one of the best games during this entire season. And maybe let's even start it off here with the 7-meter penalties, which you guys had to go through. It was the first shot, and Andy Wolf instantly saved it. So it was you shooting on the third position. Once you see that Andy Wolf is actually taking out penalties today, does that do something to you once you go to the line?
Of course. I think he's good. I must say he's big, and he really makes the goal look small. He didn't only do it in the penalty shootout. It was the whole game. We had our problems with him. You get a little extra nervous, but you try to stay as calm as possible, because at the end we needed to score, and we had our faith in Sergei also.
Sorry, Martin. Just wanted to ask you, because when you play, you never show your emotions, or almost never show your emotions. It's like a very focused face, like you have right now.
Look, he's
What
smiling.
I have shoot a penalty myself in a Final Four, and it was one of the most intense and pressure moments in my life. And coming from your record, because I don't think you have shoot any penalty shoot this season in the league. Am I right?
No,
So,
you're right.
so walking to the 7-meter line, what was going through your mind in that moment? Did you think about Did you think about your team, your family, what did you think about?
No, I think actually I didn't thought of that much. I think the time. No, I think the time is just like is staying still in some point. It's you against Andy in this case, against the goalkeeper, and for me it was like, okay, I have to make this, and I think I was pretty decided that I wanted to shoot like a little. I want to shoot between the legs actually, because I think also when you see a pivot, it's often like I think the goalkeepers often think, okay, there's no trick shots. It's not like a wing player. It's no fancy shots. No, it's just straight up. And knowing myself and my shooting pattern, also I think I'm shooting down a lot and in the hips. So I thought if I went fast after the whistle, it was making him go down with his arms and out with his legs, and then hopefully there would be room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I was also there. Yeah, first of all, hey Magnus, nice to have you. I was also thinking about, if you have decided where to shoot before, or what thought you had before you went up there, because sometimes you can also overthink it. But did the coach pick you to shoot, or did you raise your hand yourself? Because it's also about controlling the nerves, having the experience in these situations.
No, we actually we talked about who wanted to shoot, and I raised my hand because it's also Bennett said it's about the feeling. Who has a great feeling, who wants to shoot, and who feels secure enough to take a penalty. Of course, it's also about the level, and that's why some of those who usually shoot also shot. But yeah, it's often Omar and Tim who shoot, and then there were 3 spots left, and it's like it's also like the feeling, like you say, it's a mental game, and it's not everybody that wants to shoot. Also,
Are
it's
you
gonna
personally
be excited whenever Tim and Omar miss in the Bundesliga, whether you will be number 3 to take over also in the Bundesliga. Did you guys practice for this? Because if I remember correctly, you also won in the penalty against Barcelona last year. But did you practice and prepare yourself for this situation again?
No, I think it's pretty individually, because it's not often you go in these type of situations, and I think we hope not to end up in this situation. I see Tim and Omar is often shooting after the practice against our goalies, and I'm also doing that, but it's I know I'm never gonna take one. I know they are better than me, but it's funny. I like the game also if it's just after the practice.
But that's actually super interesting that you say you guys didn't really prepare for a shootout, or that you hoped that wouldn't happen. But wasn't that a scenario that was in your minds already after the first match, after the first leg? Because you guys actually only drew against Kielce. You lost with 1 against Kielce, and had to run behind in the second leg. But you still didn't even have it in your mind that it might even go to the shootout?
No, I think we were not expecting to win, but because we know how hard Kielce is, and I think it's one of the best team in the world to play these playoff matches. The level of tactics, how quick they change the systems is very hard to play against. So that's why it's in a playoff match. It's never good to draw Kielce. But I think we also trusted our feeling, and I thought actually after the first game that we could play a lot better, and we hope to do that. And then it was another game where it was chaos.
Chaos is a very good topic here because the final 10 seconds were purely chaotic. Another thing that you might not have been expecting, that when it comes down to the final seconds of the match, that it actually was your one-on-one fight there that brought you guys to the penalty shootout. How did you feel regarding that last attack that Kielce ran? Because you guys were only one goal ahead, and if Kielce scored on that one, that would have kicked you out. Maybe you can take us with you. How's it on the court when you're facing a super intense situation like that?
Nerve-wracking also. But this time it was different because we actually we have seen this situation from them. They don't play a lot, 7 against 6, but when they do, it's often with 10 seconds left. And the pivots are 4 and 5, 5, 6, and they make the cross for the left back. So we talked about this situation and we wanted to stress it and take away, because it's often in these types of situations where if they have made their plan and if we try to mess with it, it's gonna give us the ball or give us a chance to get a free throw. So it was really a situation we were well prepared on. Also in the first match, we talked about how we wanted to deal with the situation, that we wanted to go aggressive after the cross, because then the left back didn't have that much time to think, and he had to make like a quick pass, and then we wanted to shoot our 5 in defense up to Alex, because that's the easy pass for the left back afterwards.
Yeah. And maybe talking about nervous situations here, and in general, nerve-wracking situation, that was basically what can be told around this whole quarterfinal of the Machineseeker EHF Champions League. And especially after that first match is so close. How is the last day before the game? So I think you guys played the 20 o'clock game. It wasn't the early game, it was the late game, right? So what are your preparations, your personal mental preparations? Are you nervous at all? Was there something special going on in the city?
No, I think our first of all, our preparations are we always have the training in the morning at 10 o'clock, so just a small running, nothing special, a little bit of passing and stuff like that. Just because it's a long day also when you play 20-45. But
you have to activate your body.
Yeah, so then we come home, we relax. It's really a long day because you have so much to do. Luckily, when you're at home, you can do pretty much everything and try to have a normal day. Try to spend some time with your family at home and relax as much as possible. Try to optimize your day and be ready for the match. And for me, I enjoy these games. It's the games like this where it's the most fun to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one can really say that this preparation worked out quite well, because eventually it took you through the quarterfinal. It took you all the way to Cologne, which is shining on the horizon right now. You guys already had one good experience in Cologne this season, but we are going to come back to that in a bit. Let's just have a look at that Truckscott 24 EHF Final Four that is coming up at the start of June. What do you think? How are the roles distributed ahead of this Final Four? So in between you, Kiel, Aalborg and Barca?
I think that when you see the last couple of Final Fours, you cannot expect anything. I need to say that it's I think it's fair chance between all the four teams. It's 25% because it's 2 games now for those who win the semifinals, and it's just close. It's top players on every team. So it's the small things that are gonna count in a weekend like this, and you never know what to expect. The arena in Köln always delivers.
I would like to go a little bit back at the beginning of the competition, because now you're qualified for the Final Four, but I would like to remind that the first 2 games you played, it was home against Vesprem. You lost the game, and then you traveled to Barcelona, and actually, in my opinion, was the worst game I have seen from Magdeburg in a long time. How did the team cope with that situation?
Yeah, of course, it was not the start we wanted to get, but we also knew that Vesprem, when they play good, their level of play is insanely high. Then they can win every game, and I think they played almost the perfect match here in Gtech, where they came with so much power and energy, and we were. I didn't think we were playing bad at all in this game, but they were better. And then we went to Barcelona, and it was, like you also say, probably our worst game. But I also think that Barca was playing insanely good. They were just killing us the whole game, and then we just said to ourselves, okay, it's not the best start, but now we also have played the 2 top teams that we know we are gonna compete against for the top 3 places, and now we have to do our job in the rest of the games, and then maybe we still have a shot at the end if we do our job now against maybe beforehand some of the lower ranking teams.
I was more like, I'm bouncing back again because you opened the topic with the Truckscott EHF Final Four, Bengt, and I wanted to hear how special, maybe I'm wrong also here, you played probably a training tournament or something like that against Aalborg, but how special would it be to come up against Aalborg in a match that has so much, meaning not only for Aalborg, but also Magdeburg, to be in the Final Four? Also for you personally, of course.
Yeah, I think maybe for me personally, it would be very special. It's obviously the team I came from before, the team I always played with before I came to Magdeburg. So it will be special, but it's I think we also have, like you said, we played the training matches before the season started, a couple of seasons in a row now, and if we draw them now, I think I'm gonna be happy because it's I think the first meeting was at the Super Globe in 2021, I think, and I think there I was way more nervous because it was against the old team and stuff like that. So yeah, I think now it's a better feeling. It's a more calming feeling in the body. But yeah, of course the game against Aalborg would be more special than maybe against the other teams.
I just wanted to know, because whenever obviously also play against a lot of teammates from the national team, is there any kind of overthinking? You said yourself you like to shoot down in the bottom of the goal, or maybe in the area of the hips. For example, shooting at Niklas Landin, obviously you've been doing it a lot. Can there be any overthinking about, okay, he knows where I have a tendency to shoot or whatever? And it can also be a benefit for you, maybe playing against some of the other guys from the national team in terms of being in defense.
Yeah, of course. That is always an interesting question, because it's hard to say. I think it depends on who gets the better start in the game, who gets the upper hand early on. That often, in my opinion, you get the mental overlap when that happens. But yeah, it's. I think even though you know the strengths and weaknesses of those who you play a lot with, when you come into a Final Four like this, you also played against the players from other countries a lot. So you also know those players very well, and I think it's maybe harder for in the one-on-one against the keepers, because that's always interesting. But with Niklas, Niklas is Niklas. I don't think I need to say anything about him. He can do it to everyone, also when you played against him a lot, or if it's the first time you're meeting him, because he can just he can win the thing on his own.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, now that Martin introduced the topic Aalborg, Magdeburg, what made you take that decision back in 2021, if I don't recall bad, that you transferred from Aalborg to Magdeburg? Because at that moment you were already a very important player in Aalborg, playing in the Final Four, even a final, if I don't remember wrong. And then you moved to a Magdeburg, which in this moment was already a very good team, but was not on the level that you are today. What made you take this decision? It was for the Bundesliga, to play in the Bundesliga, or what were the main, reasons that made you move?
Yeah, for me it was I actually signed the contract very early on. So I signed the contract with Magdeburg really early. So that's one thing. And for me, it has always been a dream to come to the Bundesliga, to play. I think it's the biggest league in the world. When you go around here, it's just insane how many people who are coming to watch the games, both away and at home. Everything is just bigger compared to Denmark. So that was one reason. And then the other reason, I think, also to choose Magdeburg is they were, as you say, a good team, and I think they were very exciting, and I wanted to play. I didn't want to leave Aalborg and then just sit on the bench for 50 minutes of every game. I wanted to take some responsibility to the club, to the next club I was going to, and wanted to play, because that makes way more fun than sitting on the bench. And I think the setup in Magdeburg was good, and of course I talked with Yannick and Mikael at that time also, and they also helped with the decision.
And I mean, that responsibility, it took you places. So you guys already won one Bundesliga, and last year you just finished 2 points shy of THW Kiel. This year it doesn't look too bad to be talking quite shy here. And yeah, you're not just aiming for the Bundesliga title, you're still in the race for the Machineseeker EHF Champions League. You already won the German Cup. That almost sounds like a treble season here. It could be the first German one since THW Kiel 2011-2012. Is that something that is in your mind?
And the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's in the mind. Of course, but I think when you start the season, it's always the goal to win everything, and of course it's hard because the other teams are also good, and we have just won the Pokal here in Germany, and we are very happy with that, and I think we still have to get the job done in the Bundesliga. Also, I agree it looks very good now, but we still have the games to play, and if we don't take it seriously now, and if we expect we have already won the league, then it's easy to lose, and then that would be devastating when we have brought ourselves in a situation where it looks like this. But the Champions League is of course the last one, but it's difficult because the other teams are extremely good, and it's a fair chance for everybody when you come to the Final Four.
And I mean, to be in that situation, especially in the league that you guys are playing in, there has to be some quality within the teams. And not few opponents talk about Magdeburg as actually the best team in the world right now. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, I think we're one of them. I think there are some. I think it's difficult to choose one because it's often dependent on the day. It's the small things that always counts. So it's hard to say, but I think we're one of them.
What is it that makes you guys so strong, actually?
I think we have a great base in our defense, actually, and we are able to, even though we let some goals go in, or not letting them go in, but even though the other team scores, we are trying to press the tempo in the game. I think we're good at controlling the tempo in the games, and I think that's really important because often if you go and make, let's say, 7, 8, 9 of those fast break goals, it's a lot in the end, and it's easy goals you don't have to fight for. And then of course when we go to our attack, it's like the best one against one players in the world. We have so many, and if one of them don't have the best day, then another one comes in and they just attack hard for 60 minutes. It's I can just say it's not fun just to go one against one for so many times. It's like they go 10 times in one attack. It doesn't matter. They go and at the end they're so good at that. Of course they're gonna get a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, shame on you that you guys didn't have a clean sheet game yet this season, that you're conceding goals there. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, how much of that success goes on the behalf of Bengt Víctor there as well as a coach?
Yeah, of course, it's a lot goes to him. He's this is his style of play, and he has scouted all of us that he has in the team now, I think. And this is how he wants to play handball, and it's working. So of course a lot of responsibility goes to him in this situation.
How would you describe his coaching style? Sorry, Martin. His coaching style at all? Because he always seems so furious on this side of the arena, and now that he has grown his beard, even I'm in front of the television once in a while. I'm afraid of him.
Yeah, he's I think the best word to describe him is passionate. He wants to win at every cost, and that you see in the games. He's always like yelling at us or the referees or the guy sitting at the table next to him. Yeah, he really looks angry, and sometimes it's overflow. But I think we as a team knows him also very well now, so that obviously help us a lot, and know that his expectations of us is also very high. So we need to deliver, because we have so many good players, and if you don't play well enough, then you can go to the bench, because he also changed.
Yeah. Martin, go ahead.
To me, it was just like kind of for Benedvika. That also, as Magnus, you said, he scouted all of you, and it looks like he has a clear plan with the team, because the 1-versus-1 player with Gisli, Klar, Omar, and if they don't deliver, then you have Albin, and you also have Smarterson. And because to me, it's always like, okay, Magdeburg, they don't have this typical backcourt player that can shoot from 13 meters like you see a lot of other players. Maybe it would be Mikael Damgaard, and whenever he gets the chance, he's not afraid to take it. Or it would be Weber, actually. But I think he has a clear plan with the team, and as you said, it's going to be difficult. But I was more also, when you spoke about defense, it's not that often that you see line players being the one on top in 5-1 defense. I often think about a player like Bertrand Schill. How did it started with you being on top, and when did it actually start? Because it's also some kind of a mix for you that you can switch into whenever you play with the national team also.
Yeah, we don't play that much 5-1 in Magdeburg. It's mostly for me with the national team when we play there. It started in Aalborg. I think it was with Aron Christiansen as a coach, where we were playing against, we had some final series against Skjern, who was playing a lot of 7 against 6, and we needed to train our 5-1 to get an alternative defense, because they were really playing the 7 against 6 very good, and that could really help us. So I think that started it. Obviously, first of all, it was Sander Saugstrup that was going to play on top, but it's also a hard job to do. So I think it was to get some workload on him, and then I think the role just fitted for me in this case, and I think that's the main reason it started, and then it just continues from there. I think when you get the success from a thing like this, it's you take it with you, and that's also a thing I'm very happy about.
I want to also know a little bit, because if I remember correctly, before you became a line player, you were a left back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
on this one.
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not. It's because, Victor, you made this, because you said you will be a good right back, and now you put it in my mind also. No, I just want to know who are your inspiration in terms of line players and in general, because as you said also earlier stage, you wanted to be the one with the ball in the hand all the time, and now you're kind of relying on other people to actually play it to you.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to be a backcourt player. They have the ball, they take all the decisions. No, it's for me it was obviously it was not. I actually started my career when you were 10. When I was 10, I was playing with some guys that were they were bigger than me. They were 1 or 2 years older, and they needed an extra player, and that's how it started. So there I was line player, and then in that situation I think it was Michael Knudsen. He was the best line player in Denmark at the time, so of course you look to him at that time. But later on I really enjoyed Igor Vori. Also, I think the 5-1 the Croatian national team had at the time he was playing on top was extremely good, and that's why they also won many matches this way. So I think that's the two main line players I need to, for me. Yeah.
Martin, if you would have changed to the line, maybe you would be our guest today.
Maybe official or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe I have made it further than I did.
Yeah, but the role distribution is just fine the way it is today. We're happy that you're here. But actually, now that you've been talking about the start of your career, that is a topic that I've been thinking about when thinking about Danish handball. So if we're looking at just the peak, there are some nations that are actually on one level, on the basic top level with Denmark. But if we're looking at the depth of the squads of the Danish teams or of the Danish national team, I feel like Denmark is unmatched, and that's where I was thinking, is the structure different in Denmark than it is in other places in the world? I mean, you might even be able to compare it to Germany now that you're playing here.
Yeah, I think that's a question I cannot answer. I think it's. I think you have to get some kind of youth coach who Klaus Hansen maybe is the best answer for me. Talk to him because I think he has a lot of knowledge in youth handball, also across from all of Europe. So I think it's difficult to say what brings so many Danes to a top level. I think it's one thing can be it's one of the most common sports in Denmark. I think that's a good reason. There's a lot of us playing it. Otherwise, if it's different kind of like youth training or something like that, that's I don't know, because we don't have that much to do with the youth team here in Germany or in Magdeburg.
Yeah, that's actually where I was looking at with that question, because in Germany, of course, handball is a topic, but it's maximum the second topic after football there. And how about yourself? So you said that you started playing handball when you were 10 years old. Was handball already a topic in the schoolyard back then?
No, that was also football. That was the main topic in the city or the small town I was from. There was mainly football, and then you had to do two towns like they were close to each other. They needed to do handball together because there were not that many citizens. So that's the one thing I think, and I think for in my like what do you say? In my age group, it was from the town I was it more football, and the other town was handball. So where I went to school, it was mainly football. But yeah, at that time it was for me also football that was the most fun until it switched.
But how come you decided for handball at all?
I think you also get like a knowledge of yourself that one thing later on I thought handball was more fun, and I also thought to myself, okay, I was better at playing handball, and maybe I could go a little bit further with my handball than with my football. So and I was not that good in football. I think I made the best choice. I think
that question is coming later. You know.
Yeah. It's okay.
But yeah, then maybe to close it off here with the handball related topics, you actually made your way in handball. One cannot deny on that. And you actually already achieved some goals with the Danish national team. Some silverware, some silver medals there as well during the past years since you first started playing for the national team in 2018. What are some goals that you have still left with that Danish national team?
For me, there's coming one here in the summer also. I think that's a big goal for us, especially after the last Olympic in Tokyo. I think this time we want to win and not get the second place. So that of course is a big goal for us. And yeah, I think the European Championship is also still a big thing because it's like it doesn't always end well when we play the European Championships.
Yeah, fair enough. And Martin, he already opened the topic, so go ahead and ask about it.
No, you probably just know. We want to know who's the worst football player for Magdeburg.
For Magdeburg, I think that is Piotr Knopkowski. He is by far the bad. He's so bad, but I don't know why he has like a thing. He scores a lot of goals. I must give him because it hits his legs or his knee or he always just get hit and then it ends up in the goal, because when he has like a clear chance with no goalie, it's always going 10 yards over the top or something like that. So yeah, he's really bad, but he's insanely lucky. I must give him that.
If he scores a lot of goals, he can't be the worst one. He can't be the worst one.
I promise, he's really bad. But it's I cannot say how many times he gets hit on his leg or his knee, and it just goes to the top corner, and it's like I don't know. It's like he has so much luck he needs to. I think he uses all his luck when we play football.
Fair enough. Then let's hope that your luck isn't already used up for the rest of the season, because there are some big challenges still to play for. On one hand side, the Bundesliga, where you guys are on top, and then of course the Truckscott 24 EHF Final Four, which will be a super intense fight. And let's see whether Magdeburg is on their way to defend their title, and maybe even to win the treble. So from our perspective, there's nothing left to say other than good luck, and thank you for joining us, Magnus.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, Luke.
Thank you.
Hi, ciao.
Hello.
Hello, Luke.
Hello, Luke.
I was more thinking, like, if you delay the party, when you qualify for the Truckscott EHF Final Four, then how will the party be when you've won the I forgot the tournament, the global
Super Globe.
Super Globe.
Super Globe. I was about to, Super Globe, and then also in a good position for the German league. You won the cup,
Winning the Pokal, yes.
Exactly, and then also now in the Final Four. I want to know how you celebrate that, but maybe we'll know more later on.
What I wanted to ask, and I just remembered right now, is what does he have for breakfast every morning? Because my man, for playing 60 minutes the way he does it in that position, which is the most physical position in handball, back and forth, defense, offense, it's just amazing. He's 28 now, I think. But it's just amazing how physical he is and how he is playing in this position.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also been, I think, in the newspaper in Denmark, because we can call it the Magnus Saugstrup posture. Whenever you stand and you have a hard time breathing, you have your hands on the knees, and he's standing like that a lot. And there are some, talking about, is that good for, the breathing and stuff like that. But as you said, Victor, he's like, it's insane actually for a position as line player playing 60 minutes all the time and have a key role in both ends, because not that many other line players do so.
And I mean, if we're looking at the EHF homepage, it's saying that he has got 105 kilograms with him. So you at first need to start moving that stuff, and then, play throughout 60 minutes. That's a huge achievement here, that's for sure. And on the other hand, a huge achievement would be to actually win the treble. So what do you guys think? Is it possible for Magdeburg, Victor?
Yes, of course, it's possible for Magdeburg. We all know how difficult it is to win it back to back, but of course, it's possible. But in my opinion, for the first time, Magdeburg is arriving to this championship as the favorite. And we all know how the underdogs play in Cologne. So of course it's possible. Of course they are the team to beat, in my opinion, at this moment when Vesprem is out. But we will see what happens.
But I mean, being the favorites and that meaning the underdogs overperform, doesn't that make the other teams the favorites and Magdeburg the underdogs yet again? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But that will be no, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are winning. They are on the road to win the strongest league in the world, and that's what shows us how much they can do. And I mean, we have been talking a lot about Magdeburg. We have been talking a lot about that Magdeburg against Kielce matchup, but there were some other insane matchups that we actually still need to figure out and actually still need to talk about, because it was one guy in this podcast last week who said, nah, Kiel is still going to make it. To be honest, he didn't mean it completely serious, but on the other hand, still we got to give Kiel the credit here for turning around a -9. So, Martin, how in the world did they manage to do that?
That's a good question, because I was also looking at when I saw the game, I was looking at especially one period in the game was in the second half where they get one man up and they were leading with 5, and I said, okay, if you have a 2-minute now, then you actually have a chance. And the first thing they do when they one man up is
Lose
Diego
the ball in the
Simeone,
backcourt?
Exactly. He steals the ball and scores for his -4. I was like, okay, they're making it hard for themselves. But after that, I think we had a talk also. That was probably the last goal that Montpellier, they scored in that match, and that's 50 minutes before. So obviously Montpellier ended up struggling, and Marfka, he had a couple of saves. And also, without actually knowing the statistic for Demi Desponet, I think he made a real good game in the first game. And here in the second one, maybe he lacked a little bit of saves compared to the first one. But on the other hand, it was probably just Kiel stepping up. And once again, we spoke about the atmosphere in Montpellier. We had Saugstrup that spoke about it. The one in Magdeburg was unbelievable. Kielce, and when I saw the game with Kiel, they also, they were rolling on the atmosphere and the momentum they had within the game, because whenever you entered the game as a spectator, they probably didn't really believe in it. It was more like also with you said, yeah, they can make it. And whenever you then are 6 and 7 goals up, then you actually believe in it and you look at the clock. So obviously that gave them a boost. And well, it's quite unbelievable. We have to also look at some statistics and see if that's the biggest comeback in a Champions League quarterfinal, when you're 9 goal down and then turning it around and then still qualifying. So it's in general just unbelievable that they made it. But Johansson and Bielik also played a real great game here in the second leg.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at the timeline of that matchup, it always looked like it was possible. So after 20 minutes, they were already in the range of being 3 or 4 goals up, and you just knew, okay, if they would keep up that pace, well, 20 minutes plus 3, 40 minutes plus 6, 60 minutes plus 9, it would have been possible. But then there was that stage, I think it was around minute 40 to 45, where they were like 5 goals up and had that chance, but then lost the ball. So that might have actually been turning around the momentum there. But you just felt that the whole arena was standing behind THW Kiel, that the whole arena, all dressed in white, were just screaming and shouting for their Zebras to make it actually through, and never stopped believing, and neither did Kiel, and that's why they actually ended up having a big chance of doing something great that evening. And I mean, Victor, you know best what the Wunderino Arena is able to do.
Yes,
even though it was named
amazing.
Differently.
It was amazing atmosphere. Watching the game from home, I could relate of what the Montpellier players could be feeling at that moment, because I've been on their shoes sometimes. It was amazing. It was crazy, because Kiel, they managed to recover 5 goals in 45 minutes. So it was In the minute 15 of the second half, they was 5 goals up, and from that moment, Montpellier only scored 1 goal. So it was something crazy to see, and I think that it's one of the biggest comebacks in the competition history. So I think it's something they are all going to remember, all the people who was in the arena that night.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was a huge fight, but on the other hand, we have 2 more games to talk about here as well. Let's at first start it here with Aalborg against Veszprém, with Magnus' former club, making it actually to Cologne, where none of us actually was thinking that might happen here. Aalborg against Veszprém, is that the biggest surprise of the round, or is it still the Kiel comeback, Martin?
It's still the Kiel comeback to me, especially having in mind how Aalborg did in Veszprém. We talk about they had the chance to do it in Veszprém. They threw the ball away, and but to me, it's maybe unfair for me to say against Veszprém, but in some ways, typical Veszprém. I had them as the biggest favorites to win the tournament, and now they're not even going to qualify for the Final Four, which is like, in some way, a pity, because they have an amazing team. But on the other hand, I was looking at Aalborg, and then first of all, Niklas Landin, he stepped up once again. Then I was looking at thinking about the Olympics, coming up with the national team, and I think, okay, Thomas Arnoldsen, he's definitely battling for a spot there with the way that he performs, and also Mads Hoxer on the right back position. We keep on saying Emil Madsen, who was the top scorer earlier in the Champions League, Gitzel, Niklas Kirkeløkke, but in Aalborg, they also have a guy that in this game performed really, really well. So to me, these 3 were the key players for Aalborg to securing the win. And it's, as a Dane, I'm obviously happy about a Danish team coming, but on the other hand, Veszprém, it's not like it's a disaster for them. But we had Remeli on, and he said the biggest goal for them is still the Champions League. So now they're not even at the Final Four, and it's a huge disappointment. And I don't know what to say about Veszprém, because the history continues with them.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're looking at the ambitions with which they went into the season, the goal was clear, that this team is built to lift a trophy in Cologne at the end of the season in the middle of June. But yeah, unfortunately, out of the Veszprém perspective, that dream and that road has ended a little too soon. Even though, and that's what I find super interesting, they had the better start into the second leg. So they were up, I think it was like 5-2, 5-3 or something in that direction. Yeah. But yeah, still Aalborg managed to fight back into the game, and now Aalborg turned it around. They had a massive performance. And I mean, if you knock out one of the favorites, if not the biggest title favorite, Victor, is Aalborg still the underdog in Cologne, or who is it?
For me, no, they're not. I think that right now the underdog in Cologne is Kiel, I would say. That even sound really wrong in my ear.
But I mean, on the other hand, you can't put Mikkel Hansen in the team and then call them the underdogs in Cologne either.
Yeah, but saying that Kiel is the underdog, but I think that because of the consistency of their game this season, they are the underdogs in Cologne if we compare them with the rest of the teams. And yeah, we all agreed on Veszprém going forward, and Aalborg just proved us wrong. And I think they deserved it, because they made a better group phase than Veszprém did. They were more consistent than Veszprém was. And at the end of the day, the performance they did in Hungary, it's what gave them this qualification, in my opinion. Of course, then you have to go home and seal the deal, But that performance that they played in Veszprém, it was amazing.
Even though they lost by 1 goal. So they didn't even win it over in Hungary, but for sure, they definitely played a good match there, yeah?
To me, I just want to say Yeah, sorry, Victor,
going
but
away,
having in mind,
going away of that arena, still alive,
Sure.
only losing by one goal and having the feeling that you just the victory slipped over your fingers. It's really good for Aalborg.
Martin, what you want to say
yeah,
on that?
and yeah, I just wanted to say, speaking about underdogs, it's difficult because Kiel also won the group ahead of Aalborg, and I just want to say, to me, there are two clear favorites, and it's Magdeburg and Barcelona at the moment. If I have to pick someone, I also learned my lesson, actually. Just don't predict anything, because otherwise, although I had 3 out of 4, but with Kiel comeback and Aalborg making it, and yeah, just in general, yeah, it's going to be unbelievable, of course, with the event. But there's also, on the other hand, there will always be teams missing out, and Kiel and Aalborg are there for a reason. So of course they're going to be competitive, and they're going to do something about whoever they will meet up against.
Yeah, that is for sure. That is for sure. And I mean, you guys have been talking about Barca as one of the favorites in Cologne there as well, and one cannot disagree, especially after that first leg they had against PSG. We don't need to lose too many words about that Barca-PSG matchup, because it was basically decided before it even started. And on the other hand, we only have to say goodbye to Nikola Karabatic from the Champions League stage, and that is one of the biggest, if not the biggest name of all time, leaving the biggest stage in club handball, where we are just kneeling down and are pulling our hats in front of one of the greatest. But yeah, he got his farewell goals. But other than that, I feel like it was the battle of the long distance shooters, Prandi versus Mem in that matchup.
Well, Prandi, it was amazing yesterday. I think it was the best player of his team, by far. And but Dika Mem, he made he was leading his team in both games. All the time when he was in the playing court, he was the player that started all the attacking systems, and not only scoring a lot of goals, but also making his teammates to play very good handball. So it was a great show to watch yesterday. I think that we all knew that it was impossible that Paris could make it in Palau Blaugrana, because I don't know the numbers or the statistics, but I don't think that Barca has lost by 9 in the last 50 years in Palau Blaugrana. So I think it was something impossible. So yesterday it was a great handball game, a great show. The best attendance in the whole season in Palau Blaugrana, very good atmosphere, and I think it was a nice handball game.
Yeah, that for sure was it. And I mean, with that, we can wrap up the quarterfinal rounds and slowly but securely get our vision over to Cologne. But before that, there's still a lot to be played. We're looking at Graz this weekend when you're listening to the podcast. So the EHF European League Women is being played. The EHF finals, they are being played just on Saturday and Sunday, with Sturhammer against Neptune's Nantes and CS Gloria against Dunarea Braila. Yeah, that will be interesting, but I think next week we will be trying to actually get a winner into this podcast. Until then, we have one more thing to play here, and Victor is already starting to get his focus back, because, well, that one was lost during the last 3 weeks. Martin, you are on a 3-0 run in Who Am I? Are you going to keep that up today?
Well, with the performance that I've been met from Victor the last couple of times, I don't expect anything else, that I will, take this one as well. I had higher expectations for Victor and hopes, and to make it a real competition. But let's see in 5 minutes. I just want to say also to the ones listening out there that there is the EHF Champions League for the women's also coming up, all the matches this weekend, and that's also super exciting to have a look at at those matches and the matchups, because I'm just gonna say one game, and it's probably Odense, and then we can probably speak more about it in the next episode. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't mention that because that is being played for us tomorrow and the day after, but we're only releasing on Monday. That's why you guys already know the results, and there's not too much sense of us analyzing the first leg here once that the second leg is just being played before the podcast releases. But that will be super interesting here for us. And hopefully super tensionous for you guys out there as well. And until then, let's hope that Victor finally did his homework and we're playing another round of Who Am I? So I am going to give the boys some little hints about a certain player. And I'm going from a little more generals to a little more detailed. The first one who solves it gets the victory. And, if you want to solve it but you're wrong, the other one gets the victory. So we are still in a race. It's 5-4 for Martin Vilstrup, and the next round of Who Am I starts with me, and I am 23 years old. Who is 23 years old? No one wants to solve yet. All right. I had an important international match this week which sent me to the EHF finals. Not too sure here. Martin seems to be onto something. My team lost the game, but we won on aggregate.
I'm going for it.
Okay.
David Spath.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
All right. Before I became pro handballer, I had a rather promising career in football. Just think about the answers that the Germans gave us who would be the worst footballer in the team. My father played 83 matches for his country. I am on my way to overtake him with 54 games already. This year, I became third best goal scorer during the EHF Euro 2024. Currently, I rank third on the top scorers list of the EHF European League men. I am rumored to change clubs this summer. I'm a center back. I became all-star in the EHF Euro 2024. Long hair, don't care. Hello, my name is Yuri Knorr.
Yuri Knorr.
I was between him and David Spath.
Yeah, fair. And I need to Google, but I think David Spath is a little younger, isn't he? Yeah, he's 22. He actually just turned 22 a couple of days ago. I mean, it is the same range. Yuri Knorr is just about to turn 24 here.
How generous of you, Victor. How generous of you giving me a point here. But actually, it's the first time something wrong.
Were you in the correct path?
No.
Inside your mind?
No. Maybe actually this player is a little bit older also, but when you just said that, but when you said he lost the game and qualified, then I was out.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, EHF finals should have given you the hint that it was about the European League, and I mean, Victor, you weren't on a bad path there, but still. That doesn't help you. That's
okay. I feel proud about that one.
When you said 23 and stuff, then I thought Erik Johansson or something like that from Kiel. But then you said the other thing.
Even it was not correct, I feel proud about this one. You know, the other weeks I'm not proud about my performance, but this week I'm proud of it.
Yeah, well, a proud loser.
I can understand you being proud. Yeah, you're moving in the right direction. You made a guess this time. You actually tried this round.
You know what it is?
Yeah, that looks like a pointing finger. I think it's that one. I think it's that one. Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. Before things get out of hand here, I think that was a good episode yet again. So thanks once more to Magnus Saugstrup for joining us. Congratulations for reaching the Truck Scout 24 EHF Final for this year in Cologne. Same as all the other teams that qualified. It has been a wild ride, but the ride will be even wilder, and that's where I would say thank you, boys, and let's hear each other. Yeah, it's getting late for all of us. Let's hear each other again next week when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan. He double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. To come up with something